Did a vehicle come from somewhere out there? Just to land in the Andes. Was it round and did it have a motor? Or was it something different? Oh, shut up. Get out of here. I don't know what that guy was doing here. Jesus. Well, happy Halloween, everybody. Oh, I can't see a thing. Well, that's better. I still can't see anything, but at least I got my glasses on. So, I'm sure you read the description and you probably figured it out. This is about my Zappa digital collection. So, let's get to it right away. Let's not waste any more time. See, I do it every time. Put that head back in its casket. All right, man, I'm going to show you all kinds of stuff. And the first thing I'm going to show you is something that I showed this when I was doing my vinyl collection. This is actually something that I compiled, and I used information from Greg Russo's book about Frank Zappa. I don't have it with me. I can't remember what it's called, but look up Greg Russo Frank Zappa book, and you'll find a really, there's actually two different editions, at least two, maybe there's three now, I don't know. But the guy wrote some, these books that he published had some really great information in them. And it included information about Zappa's early productions in PAL Studios or Z Studios or whatever he was calling it at the time. And there were a lot of different releases that he either produced, maybe he wrote some of the music, maybe he played on it, or a combination of all three of those things in different combinations. But they're very, these are like, maybe like a single that that was released in 1963 and all kinds of stuff. I tried to compile, I tried to find these clips on YouTube and elsewhere, and I just would download what I could find, and I burned it all to CDR here. So, I don't know if you can read this. Here, let's take it out of this package. In fact, here, it's on the back of this book, because I did a booklet for this. Oh my God. So, I don't know if you can read this shit, because it doesn't want to focus. All right, focus on those AV. Focus on something, will you? It's not focusing. All right. Jesus Christ. All right. Like, there's stuff like Break Time by the Masters. He co-wrote this. Love of My Life by Ron Roman. He was a co-writer of that. Memories of El Monte by the Penguins. He was a co-writer. How's Your Bird? Baby Ray and the Ferns. Zappa wrote that. And The World's Greatest Sinner. And Dear Jeepers. And Letter from Jeepers. These are things that have been released and re-released on like EPs and on different CDs all over the place. But anyway, I wanted copies of some of this stuff if I could find them, so I actually did find some of them. One of the ones I was really, here, let's see. I think it was Tijuana. Actually, that says there's no Zappa involvement, but I think it's Tijuana. That there's a little clip of it on absolutely free. I think it's on there. Or maybe it's, they're only in it for the money. It's on one of his earlier albums. I know it's not on Freak Out, but it's on either Absolutely Free or We're Only in It for the Money. Anyway, so this is just a collection of stuff. Most of it was early stuff, but there's, stuff like Boy Wonder I Love You by Burt Ward is on here, because that hasn't seen any kind of a re-release anywhere, at least not that I'm aware of. Most of these are from 1962, 63. Some, like Gotta Find My Rugulator and Boy Wonder I Love You, these are from 66. And then there's a few from 69, 70, and it goes all the way up to 78. Better You Than Me, Flint, by the band Flint. And Frank plays guitar on that. So anyway, that's what this is. It's just a compilation of like some odd tracks, mostly early stuff, but some odd tracks. And Frank had some involvement, or there was some association, except for Tijuana. He didn't even play on that. He didn't produce it, but I think that was included on one of his early albums. So anyway, boy, there's a good way to waste about 6 minutes, right? You guys are in for a ride. Oh boy. Anyway. Anyway. Yeah, here you go. Rare Meat. The early works of Frank Zappa. Now, there's only 6 tracks on here. How's Your Bird? The World's Greatest Sinner. Every Time I See You. Letters from Jeepers. Dear Jeepers. And Cradle Rock. Rare Meat. So there you go. And this cost like $6 or some crap. This was really cheap. On Delphi Records. Cucamonga. This has a lot of the same tracks that are on the one I just showed you, but it's got a whole, like, maybe a bunch more. There's 14 tracks on here. And Delphi Records, again. But this is a better release if you want to get more stuff. This came out in 1997. Nice little picture disc. And this is, of course, those same 6 tracks, but then it's got other stuff like Mr. Clean and Jesse Lee and Kathy My Angel, Until September by the Pauls. All kinds of cool stuff. Well, now we're talking. Freak Out. All right, this is the Ryko disc release. Most of the ones that I have are Ryko disc releases. Now, this is funny because this is a 2-disc set, and I have a CDR in here, and I don't know what the CDR is. It's not labeled, and there's nothing. I don't know if that's a mono mix. This is a stereo mix, the Ryko stereo mix. All right, so that's funny because there's something else in here, and I don't know what it is. I must have put that in there a long, long time ago because I don't know what it is. And here you go. Here is oh boy. Here is the Mofo Project Object. This was a re-release of the Freak Out original vinyl stereo mix. And then this has has a second disc of all kinds of alternate mixes, basic tracks, different remixes, vocal overdub, take two, all kinds of fun stuff. It's got 33 seconds of Tom Wilson. All right, all kinds of fun stuff on this thing. So I picked this up because there are one or two, maybe three unique tracks on here. That are not on this thing, which is the deluxe 4-disc set. It opens up like this, girls and boys, right? Mofo, Freak Out. And you open this up like this. Who are the Brain Police? I think we're starting to know who the Brain Police are, and none of them are in Washington, D.C. Fuck. None of them. Not before and not now. All right, so there you go. Now this is a beautiful set because if you're a fan of Freak Out, you should have it. You should have that because it's got everything, and then it's got more. It's got everything. So let's see what we got here. Here, I'll tell you what we got. Disc 1. That is the original 1966 vinyl stereo mix of Freak Out. So it's the same as disc 1 of that other little 2-disc package. Disc 2, all tracks mono except stereo. And it has all kinds of fun stuff in it. Oh, like 19 different tracks of all kinds of crazy stuff. Disc 3, all tracks mono. And then it's got more fun stuff. Susie Cream Cheese, what's got into you? Oh, some of this stuff is live. Here you go. Yeah, on disc 3, there's some live recordings. San Francisco's Fillmore Auditorium, June 25th, 1966. I can't believe that they have all this stuff documented the way that they do. It's amazing. And then disc 4, all tracks are stereo except 5, Trouble Every Day. That's a single edit. So there are more basic tracks, single edits. It Can't Happen Here, Mother Mania version, not previously available on CD, but that's actually been released on CD now. So, all right, so. And then there's interview excerpts. There's all kinds of fun stuff here. Mofo produced by Gail Zappa and Joe Travers, of course. So anyway, there's a lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff in here. You gotta get it while you can. All right, that's Mofo. That's the 4-disc set. A lot of fun this thing is. Hey, here it is, absolutely free. This was released by Ryko a long time ago with 2 extra tracks. It includes, right in the middle, right between sides 1 and sides 2 of the original LP, they squeezed in Big Leg Emma and Why Don't You Do Me Right? All right. Absolutely free. Well, it's a CD and I don't know what that is. All right. Here is, we're only in it for the money, folks. And this, now, look at this. Again, I have another disc in here. I have a feeling that that might be a mono mix of this. Somehow I got a mono mix of it or something. But anyway, this is a, I think that this was a safety tape that somebody got their hands on. And a lot of people were complaining. You know, when this was first released, Ryko Disc first put We're Only In It For The Money out, it was with re-recorded bass and drums. The claim was that the oxide particles off the master tape fell, or there was the oxide particles were falling off of the tape. So they had to re-record new bass and drum tracks. All right. And so you ended up with a product that was from 1967 or 68. And except for the bass and the drums, they were like this modern sounding bass and drum parts, especially the drums. I mean, it was just an odd mix, man. And it kind of sucked. I wasn't into it at all. I was so disappointed. So they put out this disc. It's got Frank wearing his little hat and his derby. And anyway, at least I was able to hear, I guess it's a safety tape version of this. And it was so nice to hear this. And so nice to own a copy of this. So, and I can't remember, you know, there are different versions of this album that were released at different times, slightly different edits. I can't remember exactly which one this is. All I know is, at least it's not with the added bass and drums. It's like an original recording from 1967 or 68. All right, and here you got We're Only In It For The Money and Lumpy Gravy. Now this is what I was talking about. This has these two albums on it, but We're Only In It For The Money has the added bass and drums. And it's kind of hard to stomach. At least Lumpy Gravy is a good version of Lumpy Gravy. There's nothing added. There's not a speck of cereal, kids. So this, you know, version of Lumpy Gravy you can enjoy. And yeah, these two first that came out, there's just a couple of them. This is one of them. They're kind of odd, but you know, I guess, you know, value for the money. Back in 1990, whenever these were coming out, probably 86 or 87. Here's Lumpy Money. Lumpy Money is another project object with recordings from We're Only In It For The Money and Lumpy Gravy. And this is packed with all kinds of cool stuff. This is a 3 CD set. And it's, yeah, this was released back in 2008. And this is some good stuff. So that's all I'm going to tell you about it. You know, this is one of the, I'm just going to reiterate for the umpteenth time, I'm just showing you what I have. And if you want to learn more about the objects or the track listings and stuff, probably best to look it up on Discogs or look it up on some old, some Zappa websites. There are plenty out there that have tons of detail. So they're going to do a lot more, you know, better justice than I am when it comes to talking about what's on it and what's not on it, because I screw it up every time. You know, I just enjoy these things. I put them on, I listen to them, I love them. This is something, because I don't have Cruising with Ruben and the Jets. This had some tracks that had added bass and drums or altered in some way. So this is, I think this is just a CD burn of an original LP version of the album that I got from a friend. Thank you, friend. And of course, I made the silly little booklet that comes with it. So that's what this is. It's all that doo-wop stuff. I'm not a big fan of doo-wop, so it's not something that I play very often, I'll be honest. Uncle Meat. This is a Rykodisc release of Uncle Meat. It's a great album. A lot of good stuff on here. The Dog Breath Variations is one of my favorites, and it's so short. Electric Aunt Jemima. God Bless America, Live at the Whiskey A Go-Go. A Pound for a Brown on the Bus. Ian Underwood Whips It Out, live on stage in Copenhagen. And then there's disc 2 that has a lot of extra material on it. King Kong, parts 2 through 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, yep. So anyway, Uncle Meat. And here's Meat Light. I got to admit, man, I haven't really cranked this up much. So, not much to say about it, except that I own a copy of it for that day that I feel like listening to it. Burnt Weenie Sandwich. 200 Motels. Hot Rats. This is the Rykodisc version. I remember when this did come out, this is remixed from the original multi-track masters with added material from the original sessions. And of course you have the gumbo variations, a 17-minute version of the gumbo variations that are on here. So Jungle's Revenge. I know that some of this is slightly out of order, out of chronological order. All right, Weasels Rip My Flesh. Here's something that recently came out, The Mothers, 1970. Nice little box set. And yeah, I quite enjoyed some of this stuff. Now, it's a lot of fun. It's a 4-disc set commemorating the 50th anniversary of the 1970 Mothers. This came out last year, that horrible year that everything stopped. Comes with this little button. Comes with this little book, so you can read about everything. There's my little hype sticker right there. And so this is nice, man. I like this. This is a lot of fun. Mothers at the Fillmore, June 1971. Just Another Band from LA, another Rykodisc release. Which most of, let's see. Yeah, this is Ryko too. Yeah, most of them are the earlier Rykodisc releases. Some of them are later releases, and yeah, we'll see them later. Here's Waka Jawaka. Great stuff. The Grand Wazoo. More great stuff. Blessed Relief. One of the most beautiful recordings associated with Frank. Blessed Relief. Boy, that's good stuff. Here is Frank Zappa, Halloween 1973. This is what came out of that box, along with that face. I wasn't going to put on those gloves either. What, are you kidding me? But what I did was, I just put the 4 discs and the booklet in this case here, and I stuck it on my CD rack over there, so it was easy to get to. That's all. An Apostrophe, an Overnight Sensation. This is the other twofer that I have, that I'm aware of. And then here is the Ryko release, the individual release of Apostrophe, which, I don't know. I guess I just wanted it. Here's Roxy and Elsewhere. Here's Roxy and Elsewhere. The Roxy, Zappa and the Mothers, the Roxy performances. And this is wonderful. This is a 7-disc package of everything Roxy. Yeah, this has all the different material from these Roxy shows. Took a while for that to come out, but it finally came out. Here's One Size Fits All. This is the Ryko disc version. And boy, this is such a great album. One of my favorites. One of my favorites by anybody, really. This is just fantastic. And of course, this has Inca Roads, which you may have heard recently. At least a small portion of it. Here's Bongo Fury, the Ryko disc release. This is one, I need to check this one out more because I'm always playing the studio stuff. Like, if I'm looking at my albums and I see these two, invariably I pick this one up before I pick this one up almost every time. Almost every time. Every time. So, I really do need to spin this. See, it's either One Size Fits All or it's this one, because this one I absolutely love. This is fantastic, Zoot Allures. This has two of the best guitar solos ever by Frank. Black Napkins and the title track, Zoot Allures. Man, beautiful fucking recordings. And of course, everything else on here. Wind Up Working in a Gas Station. Yeah. The Torture Never Stops. Miss Pinky. Find Her Finer. Sneak Up Behind Her. Andrew Cuomo will tell you all about that. Weasel. I'm getting political. I gotta stop. Friendly Little Finger. Wonderful Wino. Zoot Allures and Disco Boy. I don't know. Every track on here I think is fantastic. And here's Zappa in New York. I just picked up the 3 LP set of this. Man, that's nice. And this contains 4 new titles, not on the original LP. Yeah, this is really good stuff. And here is Sheik Your Booty. Now, this was frustrating to me when this Ryko disc came out and I was listening to it and I didn't hear, I think it's probably little Terry Ted Bozzio saying, you know, he's laughing, and then he says, "Did you just record that? I think that's little Terry Ted Bozzio." And it's not on this Ryko disc. They re-edited things a little bit. They tightened things up, and it was such a drag. So I got a cassette tape. Yeah, what I did was I got a cassette tape of the a factory tape of the original album, and I burned it to CD. And I just made each side like one big track. So, and then I added the I Don't Want to Get Drafted single, side A and side B. So you get I Don't Want to Get Drafted, and you get Ancient Armaments. They were remastered actually from the Canadian 12-inch single, which was not a very noisy pressing. So there you go. Oh. So that's what this is. And let's just put it away so nothing gets messed up here. So I suppose it's kind of cool to have the Ryko disc release. It's different than the original LP. But I don't think you'll find me playing it all that much. Not anymore. All right, now we're talking. Here's Sleep Dirt. And this is one of the ones, I have the, here. Yeah. This one's actually not a Ryko disc release, but it's a FZ 25th anniversary thing on Zappa Records. Barking Pumpkin, I should say. But this was, as far as I'm concerned, this was absolutely destroyed by somebody decided to add some vocals to it. I don't want to hear any singing on this beautiful instrumental album. So I think this you know, they kind of wrecked it when they did that. So no offense to the vocalist. I understand if that's oh, I can't remember whose wife it is. But anyway, so when Universal Music ended up putting out this on Zappa Records, the original LP version, I scarfed this up real fast and was thrilled to have the original LP version on CD. And man, drove down to North Carolina listening to this. It was fucking great. Same thing with Studio Tan. There's some slightly different edits, and I think there might be added vocals and blah, blah, blah. I think they changed the order of the tracks around. So, yeah, let's put that there. Same thing, well, actually, Orchestral Favorites, I don't hear a whole lot of differences between this and the LP version, but I could be mistaken. I don't know. So here is the Universal Music release, which mirrors the original LP version. So great. And here is Orchestral Favorites. This is a 3-disc set. And it's got the original album with an additional version of Strictly Gentile, the keyboard OD version, and then it's got a live concert. And it's got a live version of The Adventures of Gregory Peccary on it. How cool is that? I haven't checked this whole thing out yet. I got a lot of music to listen to, so I didn't get to the whole thing yet. But I did listen to the first CD. I wanted to check out that other version of Strictly Gentile, and it's great. Here's Too Late to Save a Drowning Witch. Oh, Ship Too Late to Save a Drowning Witch. Right? Yeah. Yes, sirree. I must admit, I do like the way that these CDs look. From the Barking Pumpkin series has nicer looking CDs, man. Some neat custom labels and stuff. What a great album. All right. Of course, here is Joe's Garage. All 3 acts in one nice little nifty box. Get it? Here is, oh, see? All this stuff's out of order. This is the CD single of Valley Girl. This has, is it just Valley Girl? Oh, of course not. It's got Valley Girl and it's got You Are What You Is. And I think that the edit on here might be slightly different than the album, or maybe I'm thinking of the vinyl single. Might be slightly different than the album. But anyway, that goes next to the album associated with it. Here's Shut Up and Play Your Guitar. Great box set. It's the 2-disc version on Ryko disc, and I had to score this as soon as it was released a long, long time ago. Yeah, 1986. Here is the same thing, but it's in a little box. It mirrors the LP box set because it's got 3 CDs. All right. Frank said, you know, yeah, there's a lot of people who like my LPs, but and my, you know, my records, they're fetishists. Yeah, he's right. That's what I am, I guess. Or there's another word for it, a collector. I'm a collector. Here is The Man from Utopia. This is another, is this Ryko? No, this is Barking Pumpkin 2. The Man from Utopia. Look at that disc. See, this is out of order. Somebody must have been in here looking through my stuff, and then they put stuff back in the wrong place. Because this is, I Don't Want to Get Drafted. Now, this is actually a 3-song EP. Because it's got I Don't Want to Get Drafted. This is the version of I Don't Want to Get Drafted. This is from the Lost Episodes. It's very different than the physical 7-inch or 12-inch CD. It's very different from the vinyl single versions that are available out there. There's the 7-inch version, which was pressed in America, and there's lots of Italian copies floating around. And I have a copy of both. And also the Canadian 12-inch single is a different mix than what's on here and what's on the Lost Up episodes. There's also Dynamo Hum from Overnight Sensation. And My Guitar, excuse me, My Guitar Wants to Kill Your Mama. That's on the Strictly Commercial compilation. This actually should go next to Shake Your Booty. That's where I wanted to keep it anyway. Ah, here is You Are What You Is. But this is... Oh, wait a minute. Huh. Do you know what you are? That's interesting because this says this is a Ryko disc version, but oh, I think I know. Oh, I think I know what I did. See, a friend of mine. Wait a minute now. Do you know what you are? That's funny. I wonder if, see, this this particular disc is a Ryko disc version, and it even has that weird looking Ryko disc, picture disc. But this matches the original LP version. There was some very different editing going on the first Ryko disc version of this. And it was real unfortunate because Dumb All Over was edited. It edited out the all that wild lead guitar work at the end of the song. And it slammed straight into Heavenly Bank Account on the original Ryko release, and I just couldn't have that. So a friend of mine had this, and he was playing it, and I realized it was the other version, and he allowed me to swap my CD, my original Ryko disc CD, for this Ryko disc CD, which has the original LP mix. Go figure. Here is the original Ryko disc version of Tinseltown Rebellion. If there are any differences between this and the original LP, I can't hear it. I don't know. All right. It's another CD, another stray CD that says FZ on it. I don't know what that is or what's on it. Here's Boulez, The Perfect Stranger. Boulez conducts Zappa. There's Pierre right there. Pierre left us a while ago. Bon voyage, buddy. I hate it. I hate all these people passing away, man. It sucks. Anyway, this is the Ryko disc CD of Pierre Boulez's The Perfect Stranger. The Perfect Stranger. Here's Thingfish. All right. Odd one this one is. Here is Does Humor Belong in Music? This, I believe that the tracks on here are different than the DVD version or the VHS version, either way. I think that these are different tracks. The DVD version is really cool because it was at the Pier in New York City, and I was at that show, and that was a lot of fun. That was a great show. And that's all I'm going to say about it. And here's Baby Snakes. Yeah, this is interesting. Here's something that I burned myself. When I found out about Frank Zappa, the guitar world, according to Frank Zappa, This was a cassette tape that was released by Guitar World magazine. And I got my hands on it. I learned about it from that book by Greg Russo. And when I got my hands on this, I had a CD burner and I burned it all to CDR. And then I actually added a whole bunch of other stuff, and I made a CD that is actually, it's got a running time. Wow, there's no running time. I don't see the running time on here. But I really packed this with all kinds of cool stuff. Johnny Otis Jam from 1970. I think that was a broadcast, radio broadcast out of LA. 50/50 from 1973 in Sydney. Big Swifty. That was from October of 73. Black Napkins from 76, an 11-minute version of that. Zoot Allures from Santa Monica, 1981, a 7-minute version of that. Another guitar solo. And then I got the Guitar World Part 1 and Part 2. I just made the two sides of the cassette tape one track because they all segued one into the next. And you got Sleep Dirt, Friendly Little Finger, excerpt from Revised Music for Guitar and Low Budget Symphonic Orchestra, and Things That Look Like Meat. That was side 1 of that tape. Side 2 was Down in the Dew, a solo from Heidelberg, which I believe was not on the guitar album. And then there are two different other solos, a solo from Cologne and a solo from Atlanta. I think those two were on the guitar box set, but in slightly different edits. So this tape was interesting to a fetishist like me who wants to hear, I want it all. And so, and of course, not too long ago, the Zappa Family Trust finally released this whole deal on LP, and you can get it in glorious vinyl. Color vinyl, no less. Here's the London Symphony Orchestra parts 1 and 2. I only have part 1 on LP. I'm missing part 2. That's one thing, that's one gap in my collection. That's one gap I think I can live with, actually. I mean, if I listen to this, if I'm going to listen to it, I'll probably just throw this on anyway. But that is a gap. Hey. Hey. So, Frank Zappa meets the Mothers of Prevention. Yeah, this is crazy. Because I think I got this one first. I think this is the Ryko disc version. And there's 9 tracks on here. All right. But then there's 10 tracks on here. So I must have picked this up a couple years later. And this 10th track is HR 2911. They're saying that's a bonus track previously unavailable in the U.S. So it was only on the European release on LP. All right, so there's those. And then here is Them or Us. This is the original Ryko disc release. I think this pretty closely matches the album. I think so. Because I played the album a lot when it came out, and then I know I played this a few times. I played this a few times, and I don't remember hearing anything different. Truck driver divorce. All right. What's next? Jazz from Hell. Boy, this is a great album. Now, if you don't like the Synclavier or the Synclavier or however you say it, maybe you won't like this album. But Frank was kind enough to include one guitar solo on here, Saint Etienne. And that was a solo that he actually included it on his video, Video from Hell. You know, which came out right around the same time this did. And Video from Hell was pretty cool. Because it included that, well, it included a lot of wild stuff, but included the this guitar solo. And man, what a beautiful piece that is. 6 minutes. Everything else on here is the Synclavier, all written and produced and, you know, arranged and made on the Synclavier by Frank. And it took me a while to get used to some of that stuff because it was so perfect. All that human air was taken out of it, and it was kind of odd. It was almost a little too sanitary. But I've grown to really enjoy some of these sounds and like them. I like them. Yeah, I'm gonna start putting this stuff over here. I'm running out of room. Here's Broadway the Hard Way. Broadway the Hard Way. This has a whole lot more material than the album, but the album has him talking about confinement loaf, which you won't find on the CD, which I thought was interesting. So, this is cool, and the LP is cool. And here's Make a Jazz Noise here. This is the original Barking Pumpkin release that has a different cover than what's been released since. All right, here's the disc. Make a Jazz Noise here. Here's the booklet. All the same tracks, I believe. I don't think that there's any difference in the actual musical content, but the album cover's a little bit different. Yeah, it makes me curious as to whether or not that's a valuable release just because of the cover's different. And here's the best band you never heard in your life, because all the guys started, I don't know, there was a mutiny by the band, and he cut the tour short. So I was lucky enough to see these guys perform in Pennsylvania. I think it was, where the hell was it? Oh, I can't remember what school it was at. It was at some school auditorium back in '88. I can't remember. But I guess I was one of the lucky ones who actually got a chance to check it out. So, and here is a CD single of Stairway to Heaven. It's also got Bolero on it. This was a British CD single that came out. And when I saw it, I just thought that was cool as shit, as I like to say. That's cool as shit, man. And I just like that artwork. I like that cover. All right, so I scored this. And here's Frank Zappa guitar. Here's the guitar box. All right. The 2 LP set is much shorter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I think this, oh, I can't remember. I have the album, but I have this, and I marked, I don't know if the ones that are in red are the ones that are on the album, or if the ones that are not marked in red are the ones on the on the vinyl LP. I think the ones that are in red are on the vinyl release. I think that's correct. So there's a lot of tracks that are on this CD that are not on the album. Either way you look at it, you get a lot more content on here. Wow, I'm still under an hour. That's amazing. Here is Transfusion. This is the third release that features guitar solos by Frank. And as a matter of fact, I think one of the tracks that was on that, The Guitar World According to Frank Zappa, one of those guitar solos that was not on the original box, the original guitar, the first 3 LP guitar box set. I think that guitar solo that was not included in that is on here now, with a different title too. I believe that's correct. Here's Ahead of Their Time. All right. This is the Mothers, and it's like this came out in 1993. I remember that. Of course, that's the year Frank passed away from his goddamn prostate cancer. This is number 63. This is album number 63, you guys. And I remember listening to this, and I was like, There was so much non-musical content on here. You know, them talking on the bus, and I don't know, a lot of yapping going on. So I was not all that keen on this. Then again, it's got like an 8-minute long version of King Kong on here. But there was so much talking, and I was like, oh, I got tired of all the yapping. I wanted to hear some music. So I probably need to spin this again. My buddy Bill Smith was saying, might need to check this out. Bill Smith, I'm going to have to check this out. I still haven't played this. I played that box set from 1970, which was cool. And I still need to check this out again. Oh, wait a minute. Playground Psychotics. Maybe this is the one I was thinking of. It is, for sure. There's a lot. There's even more yapping on this than there is on that. Ahead of Their Time. And this came out in 1992. Man, all my shit's so out of order, it's not funny. Here's the mystery disc. This includes all the material, I believe it's all the material that was on the Mystery Disc 1 and Mystery Disc 2, the Old Masters box sets. They both had mystery discs, and the material was not available elsewhere until this CD came out. I believe this has everything. Everything on those 2 discs fit on here. I believe that's correct. Here is the Lost Episodes. All right. All kinds of rare material until this came out. Now it's not rare anymore. All kinds of fun stuff on here. But this has that version of I Don't Want to Get Drafted. And I'll be honest with you, the version on Lost Episodes doesn't even come close to the original single mix. It's such a better mix. The single, the original single. Here's Strictly Commercial. I was forced to buy this because this has single versions of Joe's Garage, Don't Eat the Yellow Snow, Montana, and so I had to get this. I had to get this for those reasons. Strictly Commercial. Come on. It's worth it just for that photograph. Frankie. God damn this Frank, man. Here's Have I Offended Someone? Yeah, this has all the music on it that pissed off people. All the politically incorrect types of topics and slants are included on this album. So if you want to piss off your neighbor, you know, crank your stereo up to 10, maybe 11, and put this on. So I'll move out in about 10 minutes. Here's Cheap Thrills. Now this, I didn't need to get this. Most of the stuff on here, I think, is previously released, if not all of it. Yeah, this was, you know, I saw the package and it wasn't very expensive, so I picked it up, but I don't think I really needed this, quite frankly. Now, here's Civilization Phase 3. And I'm real glad that I kept the original box that this thing came in. I bet you a lot of people don't even have this box. It's such a beautiful package, and I actually played this not too long ago, and it was cool. But it's a beautiful package. I'm not going to pull it out. I'm going to save time. Look it up on Discogs. I think you'll see the same thing. Here's the Yellow Shark, Ensemble Modern. Okay. One of Frank's final productions. Sad to see him all kind of, you know. God, this fucking sucks, man. You know. Fucking cancer. Thanks a lot, American Cancer Society. You're doing a fine job. Asswipes. This was cool. Leather. Leather, actually, is how that's pronounced. It looks like lather. Like lather, rinse, repeat. I don't have that problem, as you can see. But there was a bootleg box set of this. I remember seeing it at Cheap Thrills. Not Cheap Thrills. I remember seeing it at Vintage Vinyl in New Jersey. That beautiful record store, Vintage Vinyl. And I think it was a 4-record set. This is a 3 CD set. And it contains all that material. Now this is a Ryko disc release. A lot of the material that's on this leather release, a lot of it is on those 3 contractual obligation albums, like Sleep Dirt and those other 2 records. And some stuff is also on Zappa Live in New York and Shake Your Booty, I believe. There is some material on here that's not on any of those things. Totally different edits. Some tracks are slightly longer than others or shorter than others, or, you know. So, you know, totally different running order, different track order. So it's kind of interesting. All right. Ooh. Here's something cool. Here's quadrophilia. And this is a DTS disc. This is a multi-disc, like a surround sound disc with, well, I won't tell you what's on it. Look it up if you want to find out the tracks on it. But anyway, I did have a surround sound system, and this was kind of cool to play on it. And yeah, there's all kinds of material on here, that different edits of stuff. But anyway, this was one of two that came out that I'm aware of. Here's the second one, Halloween. Yeah. And this has a long version of Ancient Armaments on it. And when I saw that, I said, God, give me a copy of this. So, well, I paid for it, But yeah, this is pretty cool, man. And it was cool to have a surround sound version of Ancient Armaments, that really great guitar solo on the B side of I Don't Want to Get Drafted. And a nice long version of it, too. Happy Halloween, everybody. Yeah, all right, this is it. This is the big one. That's Frank Zappa. I'm just quoting Frank here. All right, here is Feeding the Monkeys at Ma Maison. This is a CD burn. And what I did was I included the all the material from the CD version of this release, and then added the black page, which was a little flexi disc that came out of a keyboard magazine, I think it was. And While You Were Art, which was another Synclavier track included on a box set, this monster box set that I have. So, and three of the tracks from this are on the that orange EP that I have. I think three of these tracks are on there, but there's other material that's not available on vinyl. That's here. Anyway, yeah, I did something bad. I burned these tracks to this CDR, but then I added two more. It's an expanded version of the album, of the CD album. Here is the Vaulternative Records release of Zappa. I think this is Down Under, isn't it? Yep, in Sydney, Australia, on January 20th, 1976. 2-disc set. Another Vaulternative release, Zappa in Buffalo. In Buffalo. And it doesn't have the date. Oh, 1980. All right, Buffalo, 1980. Here's another Vaulternative, Zappa Wazoo. And this was, does it say when? Does it even have the year? Oh, this is, all kinds of different stuff. 1971, 2007. This goes all, I mean, in terms of of chronology, the recordings on here are all over the place. Yeah, I mean it's like wazoo material, man. Okay, played at different times of his career, and I need to crank this up, man, because I love the Grand Wazoo. Who doesn't like the Grand Wazoo? Here's Dance Me This. I was so happy to get this. I think this is cool as shit, man. I listened to this. I bought it out in California and brought it back to my in-laws' house and cranked it up outside on a cassette, on a not a cassette player, but on a little player, and just sat out there, had a few beers, and really enjoyed this. And this Little Dots. This is called Little Dots. This has Cosmic Debris, Little Dots, Rollo, Kansas City Shuffle, and Columbia, South Carolina, Part 1 and Part 2. It was recorded in Columbia, South Carolina. I'm talking about the last track. The last two tracks. All right, here is an interview picture disc. This is a limited, look, it says right there, limited edition. It says it backwards to me, but all right, this is just an interview disc, and it's, a lot of these were coming out back in the 80s and the 90s, mostly 80s. The interview. Oh, kind of gunky stuff on the back of here. The interview volume 2. And here is the classic interviews. Look, a box set. I don't even know if I ever listened to this. I listened to one of these, I think once. I don't know if I ever even opened this up and listened to this stupid thing. I saw Frank's face and I bought it. Then I found out it was an interview disc. Oh. Okay. Since I'm still showing you just individual discs, here's the band from Utopia. This is cool, a tribute to the music of Frank Zappa. I think that Gail and the family were a little upset with some of these tribute CDs from previous band members. It's a real shame. I don't know why you have to be, upset about it. I mean, it's, I don't know. I shouldn't get in the middle of that stuff, should I? I don't think I should. This has Bruce Fowler, Tom Fowler, Tommy Mars, Ed Mann, Arthur Barrow, Ike Willis. All these guys are great, but Ike, I like Ike. I got a special thing in here for Ike Willis. I love his 2 albums. You know what? I'll show you. I got that album, and I got his 2 CDs too. Ike Willis, man. I'll have to pull those out. But this also has Chad Wackerman. Chad Wackerman, man. Robert Martin. That's whose wife is on those other Ryko releases of the Contractual Obligation albums. I think it's Bobby Martin's wife who sings on them. I believe that's correct. Kurt McGettrick and Jay DeTamo. Jay DeTamo on drums. So anyway, previous band members and other artists on here. And they do stuff like Chunga's Revenge, Ain't Got No Heart, Take Your Clothes Off When You Dance. There's, you know, Zappa songs, Zappa compositions by these guys. I don't see what's wrong with that, man. You shouldn't get upset, you guys, because these guys know this music really, really well, and why not be able to put this out and share it with people? Come on. And here's the Muffin Men. This also features Ike Willis. All right, so I had to have these, man. It's got Ike and lots of other good players too. Now, what I'm about to show you is stuff I'm really not proud of, but this was a labor of love. These are CDs that I put together, and it included mostly material that was not readily available on Frank's albums, or like alternate mixes, or I don't know, all kinds of weird stuff, okay? And again, Greg Russo's book, Greg Russo, his book on Zappa, he wrote a couple of books. He wrote one on Zappa that there's actually at least two editions of, really great. Cosmic Debris, I think he called it. And I think that's what he called it. And he also wrote a book on Jethro Tull. The Zappa book had all kinds of information about tracks that were difficult to find, or there were alternate tracks, different edits. And it really got down to minutiae, which I like. So all the information that I could find on all these different tracks, if I could find the tracks, or if I had the track, I would burn it to CDR. I compiled it and burned it, these 4 discs of material, and it's basically in chronological order. As a matter of fact, a lot of this stuff is really kind of obsolete now anyway, because of all the releases that they've put out. This, I did it just for me. It's not like I went and sold these to anybody. I just did it for myself, just to compile all kinds of what I figured was rare material. And it was fun to do. And I was I think I used artistic license, let's put it that way, when I compiled these things and made these silly covers in my printer and color-coded everything. And they even have little labels, which probably ruined the disc, because over time, I don't even know if I could play these anymore. It looks okay, but there are some CDs that I have, CDRs that I burned, and the material, the discs don't play anymore, so I don't even know if these play. But anyway, this is what I put out. It's so stupid, these dumb compilations. But they had like cool stuff like the Black Page #1, which was that flexi disc. I mean, there was stuff on here that was really, it just wasn't readily available anywhere else. So that's why I did this. But if you guys are aware of the folklore of Frank Zappa bootlegs, you may have heard about MITB, or Music is the Best. It was an 8 CD collection, kind of based on the same principle of my 2 discs. It was material that was not available, it wasn't commercially available. for the most part. And the guy who compiled this, I saw he was doing this. I told him about my thing, and I actually shared tracks with him. And like, for instance, Boy Wonder I Love You in Orange Colored Sky. The version of Boy Wonder I Love You in Orange Colored Sky is my single. That's on here. And he was really cool. I can't even remember the guy's name. He was such a nice guy. And he would actually ask me, well, should I include this? Should I include this? And there were times when I said, I don't think you should really include that. And he probably did anyway. And I don't blame him. What the hell? This wasn't really my project. It was his. And I just helped him out a little bit. You know, I gave him a little bit of some of the material to include on here. So music is the best. It wasn't my project, but I did contribute to it. And I'm fucking proud of it. Even though I had nothing, you know, I didn't make this. I didn't actually produce it. I did provide some of the material that he used. What a great guy. I should have kept in touch with him. Maybe I can find him. One quick public service announcement. If you see this, don't buy it. It sucks. I just picked this up. It's really shitty. It's the worst. It's worse than a bootleg. And it probably is a bootleg, but this is worse than usual because it's poorly mastered. The material on it's good, but you're listening to a song and all of a sudden it stops and there's silence for like 2 seconds, and then the recording comes back on. And if some asshole would take some a little bit of take some audio software and maybe piece these little nuggets together so that it wasn't this long gap, maybe I'd enjoy this. As it stands, this is unlistenable. It's unacceptable. And the asshole who put this together, I'd like to kick him in the balls. This sucks. This really sucks. It's called the Frank Zappa Rock Box, a 3-disc set. And it would have been good if they did a good job mastering it. And it would have maybe been worth the $30 fucking I spent on it, but it's garbage. Don't buy this. Don't buy this. Don't accept it. It's trash. I don't know what to fucking do with this thing now. Maybe I'll take some audio software and fix it. All right. Still a few things left. You can't do that on stage anymore, but you can collect it in this box. All right. And here it is, all 6 of them, all 6 original releases. You know that they're the original release because they come in the thicker packaging. Later releases come in that slim pack. It looks like a single CD, but you open it up and then there's a tray and you can flip the tray out and blah, blah, blah. But I like this because I like my tour box. My tour crate. All 6 of them are in here, right in order. All in mint shape because I don't really take them out and play them. And here's number 6. These are beautiful. They're so beautiful. I won't take them out and play them. I don't want to touch them. All right. Here's Zappa's in New York, the 40th anniversary of Zappa in New York. I showed you the discs. I keep them on that shelf over there and not in this box. Look at this. There it is. I'm not going to open this because there's nothing in there. I keep it down here. All right. And the other thing I got here is this fantastic box set. Oh my God. If you like Hot Rats, what are you dragging your feet for? Pick this up, man. This is really cool. You get to hear everything. I haven't even completely listened to all of this yet. I've listened to discs 1, 2, 3, and 4. I didn't get to 5 and 6 yet. I am savoring it, I suppose. I guess that's what you call it, right? That's what you do. You savor it. So anyway, that's everything. I hope you like that. And, oh, Ike Willis. I forgot. Ike Willis. Here's the Who. Ah, here it is. Here's Ike Willis's album. This came out, I think it was in '88. I'm going to plug Ike Willis's magnificent releases, man, because these are great. I picked this up, man, and I was so excited. About '87 on Enigma Records. Ike Willis. Should have gone before I left. I think the music on this album is fantastic. I believe this is a domestic release on Enigma Records. Enigma Records. Here it is. Okay, right? Should have gone before I left. I think the songs on here are fucking fantastic, man. This is a really good album. And Ike sings his balls off. Here's the tracks. Business as Usual. Sleepy. Great song. Miss You Well. Great song. Venting the Krypton Gas. And Bad Time. And you flip it over and you hear The Foreigner from Boston. He just sings about bands that have names of cities, and it's funny. Do Don't, Ounces of Prevention, Fine, and The Hollow Earth. Wow, The Hollow Earth. This album ends with The Hollow Earth. What a great song. Look it up on YouTube, any of these tracks. I recommend The Hollow Earth because it's so fucking cool, man. What a great song. All right? Check out Ike Willis's album. It's so good. Ike, I love you, Ike. You're awesome. So fucking good, man. Willis. Next to Tony Williams. Now, hold on a minute. This is the Digital Zappa, so I'm just going to include Ike's digital releases. Here it is again. This is on Enigma Records, produced by Ike Willis. Ike Willis produced this, and I believe he wrote all his music, and he sings his heart out, and he sounds fantastic. This is such a good album, and the CD version includes a bonus track, Resolution. And that song's good too. It's kind of got a trying to think, man, but nothing's happening. Anyway, it's a great song. Resolution's a great tune. A great bonus track. And then he released a couple of years later. Let's see if I can 19. God damn it, I cannot see. Yeah, 1998. This came out in 87, and 11 years later, he released this album. There's actually some material that harks back to this one just a little bit. It kind of references it. There's some musical snatches that reference songs from that record, but it's mostly all new material and really good material as well, I think. All right, I think it's good. Check it out, man. Check out these great songs. Yeah, Love Theme from Foreigner from Boston. There you go. There's a reference right there. Eye of Newt. Oh, man. It's good stuff. So anyway, Ike Willis's 2 CDs. Check them out, man. Check them out. Oh, it's like I'm watching TV. All right, sorry, I'm just playing. That's an hour and a half worth of crap, right? So it was nice talking to you. See ya. Bye.